What's up, fight fans? Your boy P. Welsh here, bringing to you UFC 316 Dvalishvili O'Malley 2. Just for last week, 3-5 on the picks, two bunches. This card was a mess. Only thing is I'll say is I picked Macy Chiasson as it being a bantamweight fight. That was a featherweight fight from the start. I would have picked Vieira, who was also overweight. A couple bad reads for sure. Lopes was a bad read, Nascimento. But other than that, that's the only thing I wanted to say in terms of last week is that, like, I picked that one in terms of, like, it being at bantamweight. Like, if it was at featherweight, I probably would have picked Vieira almost all day. That's where I kind of got a lot of there. But we're starting out here 6 p.m. at the Prudential Center in Newark, New Jersey. We got UFC 316 starting off with Salakid versus Ashmus. Got Salakid 8-1 coming off a win in the first round against Jubilee, and Yanel Ashmus 8-1. Pretty, substantial resume in the UFC as of right now. And man, this is a stylistic matchup. 6 foot versus 5'9", 7-inch on the reach advantage, 4 inches on the legs, and big favorite in Salakid here. Salakid. And man, I initially had Asmus when I first started looking before I saw the odds and the metrics because I really liked a lot of his performances. I broke him down first initially. I thought, man, that KO on Patterson has aged so well. A loss to Chris Duncan is nothing to sweat on, and a win over Trevor Peek in his last appearance, man. I mean, Trevor Peek's a gangster. To beat him is a pretty professional performance on the rebound, especially coming off a loss against a dangerous fighter. Man, Salakid is just freaking a monster in the division with that true KO power, man. Anytime you finish somebody in less than 30 seconds in the UFC, you're a pretty special fighter. I feel like that's just an understanding on the situation and like who you're fighting. And I know he exploited Jubilee right away, man. We knew what that is. We ate on him because we knew that Jubilee was a little soft, and I mean 19 seconds. I really like him here, man. I wanted to pick Ashmus, but man, I guess I'm on the Salakid here. I just like the length, the tenacity, but this one I think could definitely go to the underdog to start the night. I really just think the metrics here speak to Salakid, and I think he's very clean. Those Aussies got really good boxing down there. And I mean, if he's going to square up some body shots, work from distance, and really just can win with striking, I think it's going to be a little tough. Now, he has his one loss comes via submission, and Asmus does have a couple submission wins on his resume. We'll see what happens here. I don't know much about it. It's like, really? But we'll see what happens. He's not getting rushed into for a gilly here, right? So I don't know how much that's going to work. I don't know if he's really going to work the wrestling like that. His takedown defense is insane, and his accuracy is not good if we look there. So that being said, I'm just gonna go Salakid. I think is the pick, is the cap. I mean, I super juiced at -450. So I definitely think Ashmus is like a live dog here in terms of like you never know. Everybody's got a puncher's chance. We haven't seen these guys. I mean, not much. You got a contender series fight and 20 seconds against a guy that I think was not. Dude, there's a level of toughness in the UFC that it takes, and my guy Jubilee got exposed and. I think Salakid exposed him, but that actually means he's kind of a killer. Let's see what happens. Great fight to start the night. Boom. Next up, we got Jacques Sarangi, featherweight bout versus Young Sung Yo. Sarangi 4-0 or 14-4, and we got Young Sung Yo at 8-0, making his UFC debut. 3 KO wins on his way to the UFC against Jake Sarangi, who is coming off a loss. Pretty established fighter. And, I don't really know. Man. I want to pick Jake. I really do. But, losses to Jubilee, like we said, on a fight night is not somewhere where we want to be. I got Yo here. I think Yo is the pick. I'm just going to trust the professionals, putting money on the line. I think is sometimes a great way to, like, just not go wrong with your picks. I think there are some situations that are pretty close here. But I think on the beginning of this card, I think there's clear fight stylistic matchups on why the fighters are massive favorites, and I just think Sarangi is just not cut out on the feet like that. I just don't think he is, and I think we're gonna see if Yo is, and we're gonna see how methodical and how he can walk him down, and how much how much more technical he is. Let's see how it goes. Like this should be a good scrap, and I'm going with Yo here. I'm thinking some of these middling to bottom feeders of the UFC, veterans are gonna try and get exposed by some people that are fighting for jobs. 1 and 2 in the UFC. It's like if you go home, Sarangi, you like this is it, man. So a lot on the line here, and I really like Yo here. I think he kind of puts Sarangi away. I think he makes a name for himself, and kind of maybe we see a little turnover. Or, again the rights being up soon. I think there's some of these matchups, and boy, we had some bad matchups for a couple Apex cards. I think to get some really lopsided, exciting fights for this arena fight. Next up, women's flyweight, Ariane Del Silva Lipski, 17-11 coming off a loss versus Wang Kung, 7-1. Rebounded off a win after her initial loss. And yeah, I mean, De Silva Lipski against Wang here. Again, it's one of those things. I mean, I'm not going to go hedge against Wang because she had one bad performance. De Silva's not a finisher, man. When you're a massive underdog like that, like you feel that hunger in Fernandez like that. And yeah, man, it just happens. Sometimes you get caught and your back gets taken and you get choked out. GG's happens to world champ Shevchenko. It just happens, man. It happens. It happens. It's not what you want to happen, but it does. But I don't think that takes away anything away from her. I think Bruna Brasil and De Silva are very comparable matchups in a way. If Brazil not having slightly better technical ability in terms of on the ground and on the feet specifically. So, yeah, got to be Wang all day here. I don't want to be reaching back for wins here. What have you done for me lately too? Jazz the Vicious finish. I think we called that one. Maybe not actually. Maybe not. But Carini Silva, Casey O'Neill, Gato, JJ. Not spectacular wins. Let's see a big matchup here. Big matchup for both ladies. Let's go Wang Kung here. Onto the feature prelim. We got our guy Medeiros on the reschedule for the next week in the arena. Yo, I think like these guys did it too. I'm telling you, Billy Ray Goff needed the arena. I would, if I got to break down Bramajin Goff, I would have picked Bramajin. I should have done a little update video, but whatever. But Medeiros, I think dodged last week. Same with Elliott. I think these guys dodged the apex when they realized they were not on a big card. Like Medeiros did it, and I think he wins here. He was also scared of Okai. I think bad matchup in a bad environment is not where you want to go fight. So take a better matchup in a better environment against Chionski making his debut, and yeah, I think Medeiros is ripe for the win here. I don't think there's Chionski has a puncher's chance, of course, but he's down 2 inches in the reach. I think Medeiros, again, being very technical. I kind of worry about his gas tank in a way because I think that's one thing that against better fighters, I don't know if he has enough to ascend in those later stages, right? Against lower end fighters, I definitely think he has that ability. What he showed us in against Hubbard and Quinones. But against these better fighters, and that's why he dodged. We didn't get to see it. So I think Medeiros is ripe for the win. I think early on, if there's some upsets, it might only be in the first fight. Other than that, I mean, I got like Medeiros, Wang, Yo, and Salkid. We're gonna move on to the main card, baby. Another one of those rescheduled bouts. My guy couldn't catch a break last week. Andreas Gustafsson versus Chaos Williams. We got Williams 15-4 coming off a loss to Bum Fiend Gabriel 11-2. Gustafsson coming making his debut. Man, I'm such a Williams fan, and that Bomb Fiend submission loss cost me some bread. I don't really know. I think this fight just ends by KO. I don't know which guy gets served. It could be Chaos. I'm a little worried about him. I don't even know if I want to pick him right here. I just pick him based on experience, but I just think this fight to end by KO is like it's definitely going to happen. I mean, we could have said like Todorovic and Reese was like that last week, but I mean, if these guys fight out to decision, they're both not putting it on the line then, and it's a boring fight. So if that's the case, you kind of have to lean Chaos Williams too. Other than that, I mean, I could see Gustafsson winning this thing in the first round KO for sure. Even second round, I mean, the fact that my man got finished by Bomb Fiend, who has a questionable gas tank at best, is like not my favorite. It's not my favorite look for my guy. I know Bro, I don't know. I know he can grapple. I know he's got the jujitsu. You got that little that you can't even hang. So it's just at the end of the day, man. I'm just gonna. I don't. This is not my favorite pick of the week. I'm just picking Chaos Williams based on name and reputation, and I don't got the balls to pick Gustafson. But I kind of want to do a reversal as I say it and just pick Gustafson just because. But I just don't want him to go in there and look like a freaking tomato can, dude, and just get bloodied up by Williams. You know, like just it being levels to this. You know, and I think Gustafson had a good matchup against Giles and Wells, but coming in here against Williams is a different beast on short time to prepare, even matchup stylistically. He's no spring chicken, right? He's 34. I think Williams is a little long in the tooth for the bracket as well. He's 31, so bro, if he's taking another loss here to a debutant on his 34th birthday, you know, GG's Williams. I'll take the L on that, but I got to pick him here to get the dub. But I just think violence is in this fight. One way or another, somebody's getting flatlined. Somebody's going on the canvas. If it doesn't get there, I have to lean Williams just based on gas tank experience and just, I don't know. He's kind of taking it on short notice, but I think he's always prepared for the certain matchups that really feed him well. And he's looking for a guy that doesn't grapple zero a bit. So we're going to lean Williams, get the job done, want my guy one more time. I don't know if I'll put any bread on him. I just think the bread on this fight is just the fight to end by KO, man. Like if somebody sneaks in a sub finish, whatever, GG's, but this is where you might get a sub finish here. Going to a heavyweight bout as I say that. Sergey Spivak versus Waldo Cortez Acosta. Spivak 17-5, standing 6'3", coming off a loss, 8-inch reach advantage against Waldo Cortez Acosta, 13-1, 6'4", 70-inch reach span. Look at them tiny T-Rex arms that he's got there, man. But he's been on some form recently, finishing his last fight against Span, making his heavyweight debut, but facing a true heavyweight contender, Spivak, one of the absolute gatekeepers of the division, and this is one that I really don't know how to cap and predict. I was not on his train initially after his Lima fight, but I'm kind of thinking Cortez Acosta's good with it, bro. Now, Spivak has the game to hang, but can he handle hanging on the feet? Cortez, I think, has great. I think Waldo's got great takedown defense, and he can take down himself. He's comfortable on the ground. But that being said, if you make one mistake, it could be over, right? Spivak gets that arm, rolls over the top like he did against Tybura. Over so fast. Like the leverage and the positioning. So, but I think Waldo's comfortable enough not to get there. I think he's going to keep it on his feet. I think he's in the big octagon for a reason, a lot more room to work, and I think he's going to win on cardio. I think he's going to win on volume. I think he's going to win on 1-2s, backing away. If Spivak shoots, he's going to hit him with leg kicks. And yeah, I just think Cortez Acosta is going to get one here. I think Spivak's a really good opponent and a gatekeeper. I just think he's kind of got a mentality it's not necessarily that killer mentality, but bro, he's the Robales Despan Sage fight. I showed me a lot about who he's become, right, as a fighter, and I think if there's a guy to ascend more into the rankings here, it's Cortez Acosta. And if he doesn't, this is a great chance to do it, man. He's 33. He's got to get it done, man. He's got to get it done. Spivak, you know, got a little time left. I don't know, but he's definitely a way better prospect, but he just loses sometimes, man. Just loses sometimes. And, I mean, am I really proud of a Derek Lewis arm triangle? Derek Lewis just gives up, dude. Tybura, I mean, he got the nice early finish, but I think Cortez Acosta gets him, man. I don't know, man. This one's a coin flip and a toss-up, and good luck. Good luck, anybody else putting any bread on this. I don't know if this fight goes to the distance. I think if it goes to the distance, Cortez Acosta. If it's a finish, it's probably Spivak submission, right? Something cheeky. Even like getting his legs inbound, like Spivak on the bottom. I can see leg triangle or something like that, even just because I could see if he's getting damaged, some ground and pound, and then him just get caught out, especially early. Man, this fight looks very exciting. I think for the heavyweights being so boring recently, this is one of the better matchups that we've had placed in front of us. Let's go, baby. Moving on to the light heavyweights. Ooh, baby. Asmat Mazurkanov versus Brendanson Haberio. Mazurkanov undefeated, 14-0, 5'10", 71-inch reach. Against light heavyweight Brendanson Haberio, 17-7, coming off a win. 6'3", 10-inch reach advantage for Haberio. Boy, that's gonna look juicy to some people, but man, my guy Mirzakhanov is still a minus 535 favorite. This guy's a certified killer, man. The professional. I think he gets another one here. I think he gets inside the pocket and just finishes Haberio. That's probably what it would call for. I'm not picking against Mirzakhanov at minus 500. Yeah, does Haberio have a puncher's chance? Yeah, but he's also been finished so much. His wins are not that good either. Mikado and Nurzagov. Gazudulov he lost to, and he got finished by Zhang Minyang. Were those at freaking... Those were at middleweight, too. Were they not? Were those fights not at middleweight? So, yeah, take that with a grain of salt, too, right? No, they weighed in at 205. Maybe Machado was down from... But whatever. Oh, frick. Oh, look away. Away, kids. Sorry. But yeah, so just going back into the bank there. I mean, this is Mirzakhanov, dude. Mirzakhanov by KO. Mirzakhanov 1-2. Maybe second round KO, just because I think he might take a little minute to get to, find the timing in the pocket. But I think second round KO, Mirzakhanov. Let's go, baby. To the feature prelim. Bruno, not Skull Crusher Silva versus Joshua Van, another massive favorite, dude. Massive favorites. A lot of favorites. See how many upsets happen on this card. I don't think many, but a few will. Yeah, Josh Van all day, dude. Like, Josh Van is a freaking stud. Maybe finally gets a finish on his resume. I mean, we can kind of... I mean, I've been trying to sneak him in one recently, but man, everything's just straight volume and damage, and he's got some chances. We're waiting for it. Maybe Bruno Silva's the guy to get it done, but 3 straight unanimous decision wins after being clipped by Charles Johnson, arguably on his way to a unanimous decision win. I mean, other than that, Borja, I mean, everybody's just running through. He was running through Johnson, too, and I'm a Johnson fan. He was running through Johnson. Another Joshua, get on the van right now, ladies and gentlemen. Maybe he gets the KO, man. I think he really kind of wants a KO on a big stage, right? But I think he might call for main event for anybody in there. On the flyweights off a win, right? You can pair him 6 ways to Sunday with those top 7 guys. Asukora. I don't know exactly what's booked. I kind of have to look at the rankings in the division a little bit. But, man, Josh Van, maybe off a finish. Off a finish, gets a big call out. Lots of exciting fights in the flyweight. Flyweight turning up, bro. A lot of these divisions turning up, bro. I think everybody's talking it's a little lull time. I think the matchmaking's a little lull, saving some fights here for this part of the year into the second half of the year and the end of their contract. I think they really, we got past the dark ages after last week. Yeah, after last week, we got past the dark ages. I think we're going to have a money card this week. Some finishes all around the boards. Maybe Josh Van getting one. Definitely going to take a chance. But yeah, Josh Van all day, baby. Let's go. On to the main event of the evening. Or the main card, excuse me. Welterweight bout. Vicente Luque versus Kevin Holland. 23-10-1. Luque versus Holland. 27-13-1. No contest. Underdog for Luque here. And I'm going to tell you what. I'm on the Luque band. I'm on the train, bro. I just think... Who gives Luque damage? Excellent strikers with excellent power. Kevin Holland down to welterweight, cutting some of his power. Kevin Holland, submission guy, not always the most technical on the feet. Kevin Holland, somebody that makes mistakes in the octagon. If you make a mistake in the octagon, Vicente Luque will punish you. I think at a plus 200 spot, Luque money line is one of my favorite spots of the week. terms of underdogs. I'm not doubting him again. I doubted him against Garimbo, and that was one of the biggest foolish mistakes here again. And I think with the price tag plus just the utter skill that Luque has in there, bro. If it's not for injuries, right? If my man doesn't get massively injured for long stretches of time after losses, he's maybe arguably a top 5 welterweight up there with Burns and Wonder Boy above them. You know what I mean? But it's those a couple losses against great fighters, Buckley, Neil Muhammad. Dude, Vicente Luque is massively underrated, massively undervalued this week, and has an absolutely a chance not only to win this fight, but absolutely beat Kevin Holland. I think Luque by decision is probably where we go. I think we'll see them into certain positions. I think we'll see him do vastly more damage. I think Kevin might have a submission attempt, but Luque will fight it off. He's got good strength at welterweight, where again Holland's not as big too, and he's not naturally a big guy either, right? Like even at middleweight when he's going against RDR, that dude's massive. Right? Kevin's not even massive for welterweight. It seems like he's kind of fitting in pretty nice there. So I think Luque's pretty big for welterweight, and man, I think he's one of my I think one of the spots that I don't know why everybody's on Holland, man. What has he done to make us really think he's? I don't know, man. I mean, the Olazechek finish looks better now, but man, he's I love Kevin Holland, bro. He's one of my favorite fighters, and I want to see him fight, but I want to see him win, too, and I just don't know if this is a winning matchup for him. Man, it's tough. Tough out there in the welterweights nowadays. He might have to call out Gilbert Burns after this. No, Gilbert! But, yeah, let's go Luque here, bro. Big win for Vicente Luque. Next up, we're on a bantamweight bout here. Mario Bautista versus Patchy Mix. Bautista 15-2 coming off the win against Aldo. Patchy Mix 20-1. Bantamweight or Bellator champ. Bro, Patchy by finish. Lock it in. This guy's going to come. You got to. Somebody's got to come in there and make a difference. Pitbull. He was a little older, man. Patchy's still only 31, dude. Dude, Patchy, man. Nobody wants Batista to win. Nobody wants to pick Batista. Minus 170 is a nice number to get some of these guys to get him at. Minus 180 we're at. I'm not gonna pick Batista. I don't like him. I didn't like how he fought Aldo. That fight just rubbed me the wrong way. So Patchy Mix here, knock him out. Let's go, baby. Come on, Patchy. Put on the pace, put on the power, put on the, and let's go see some knockouts this week. I'm gonna keep this one short and sweet because I'm big on Patchy Mix here. I think I think a lot of favorites win this week. I do think there's a couple upsets. I don't know where they happen. I don't know where exactly they happen, but I think a couple will happen. They could happen anywhere, honestly, except for a few spots. So I think there's a few spots that are really likely to take home. Van and Mirzakhanov are two or ones that I think are absolute slam dunks. But after that, we'll see what happens. So. But I like Patchy Mix here against Batista. I think it's a bad matchup. I think Batista wants to fight somebody that's going to want to just kind of, elite spar. But Patchy Mix is going in there trying to kill somebody. And I think you could definitely, as you watch more fighters over time, you notice the guys that go in there and try and just hurt people. Robbie Lawler. Just watch Robbie Lawler go and try and just hurt people. He ain't trying to spar with nobody like some of these guys trying to do. No. Another sparring center. I think Patchy Mix has got that kind of dog in him where he's going to get it done. He's going to try and hurt people. Try and put their lights out. Let's go, Patchy! Kelvin Gastelum, middleweight fight versus Joe Pfeiffer, rescheduled from Mexico City. Surprised they rescheduled it, but I think Pfeiffer is going to get some redemption here. Gastelum, I mean, is he on the gas? I don't even know, man. I don't even know what we tapped it before, but more time into it is probably bigger advantage Pfeiffer. No altitude, probably would have gassed Gastelum out anyway, even faster. I think this one could go to decision for sure. I could see split decision, nothing convincing here for Pfeiffer. Not as high as I once was on Pfeiffer, but I think is more of a complete game and upside than Gastelum has, and I think he can get a finish by submission, or depending on how the situation goes, I really think he could get maybe club and sub, like depending on. But like I could also see him not protecting himself super. But like, yo, it's not like Gaslam gets finished like that. You know what I mean? Win over Barrio looks good. Win over Mearshart, right? Oh no, this is that's Pfeiffer, right? Joe Pfeiffer. Yeah, Joe Pfeiffer then. Oh, those are Joe Pfeiffer wins. Yeah, Joe Pfeiffer wins. If he doesn't, then like I said though, I could see it going to the scorecard, and I can see it being very competitive fight. I definitely don't see one way traffic 100%, but I mean the loss to Sean Brady ages well. 3 rounds with Sean Brady, Chris Curtis, Janet, my guy's putting in rounds, so this one's going to decision, no finish, decision. Maybe Pfeiffer's got to get it done. 3 rounds is good for him. He lost to Hermanson on 5 rounds. Then he had the Barry out finish, another 3-rounder. So then he's got the 3-rounder against Gaslam now, rescheduled from March. Should be good. Should be a Joe Pfeiffer spot all day. All day. Like his loss was to Hermanson in the main event, right? Like we called that too, or at least we bet on it. I think we bet on it too, because it was a big underdog. That was one of the first like prospects versus contenders or like gatekeepers that I kind of really experienced doing this was Pfeiffer Hermanson. And you could see it. Kind of Barbosa Youssef was one of those. You saw that like just sometimes if they just can't get it done on the day, the other guys just come back to win. So especially in 5-rounders, but 3-rounders here, Pfeiffer. Bang! The co-main event, women's bantamweight title champion Juliana Pena, 13-5, versus Kayla Harrison, 18-1. Mano y mano, 3-inch on the reach for Pena, 2 inches on the legs. Harrison gonna come in physically dominating Pena, and yeah, I mean, Harrison's minus whatever 600 for a reason, and I think she puts the brakes on Pena in terms of she's got to get a finish early. She's probably going to win the first 3 rounds, and then after that, she might have to hold on against Pena. I think she'll rally late, but I think it will be one of those things where Harrison will win by decision if she doesn't get to finish early. I think Pena, she kind of reminds me of Grasso in a way, a little overvalued off one miraculous win off a GOAT. A split decision against Pennington. I did not think she won that fight. I picked Pennington, and regardless, she did not win that fight. Like it was so close, but she didn't win 3 rounds. Like that's another thing. It's like you might have won the fight in terms of like winning more minutes of the fight, but like the minutes that you won were not in the rounds that are so. I just think she has more holes in her game where I think if Harrison can get her down on a throw with her strength and just do some ground and pound, it could be over and stopped faster than Pena can recover. Now, Pena can take a lot of damage, and she'll tell the ref to let her get a lot of damage taken. The Vieira fight aging very well. I mean, just in terms of cardio and lasting the 3 rounds against a big opponent, I think is pretty good because again, Vieira is in that she's big for bantamweight. Like she needed the featherweight fight, and I think the women's featherweight division is coming soon enough because I don't think Harrison can really hold too much bantamweight. I think she'll fight Nunez. What they do is if Harrison wins, Harrison Nunez bantamweight, Harrison Nunez featherweight unification, and that way they got Nunez for 2 fights and a third because she'll still be bantamweight champ. And that way you can start a new division on a new contract with new fighters, potentially. I think Harrison's the pick. Harrison's the play. I think she can get a finish. I think she can win 3 rounds. I think she'll outdog Pena, who's got a lot of dog, and I really like her. And I'm a big fan. But, again, I think she just kind of got super fortunate, isn't super active, is kind of super playing her part. And, not fighting after Nunez and just split decision Pennington. I mean, I would like to see Pennington kind of get somebody, but we'll see how that kind of shakes out, too. I don't know what's going to happen here, but yeah. Yeah, I think Harrison era starts now. Let's go, baby. On to the main event of the evening. Rob the Machine, Dvalishvili, champion of the bantamweight division against challenger Sugar Sean O'Malley. Maybe sugar-free Sean O'Malley. Yeet. Yeah, 5'6" Marab. We did the metrics before. 5'11" O'Malley, 4 inches on the reach advantage, and I tell you what, man, you didn't notice it. The cardio, the entry of Marab, and the first thing I have to say about this fight is if it's another decision, the judges could give it to O'Malley. I'm well aware. I mean, I'm picking Marab because I'm a Marab fan, and I'm gonna die on the shield with Marab and him getting robbed. Robbed Marab sounds really good ring to it. He's gonna make a nice little ringtone. I just think it's super advantageous for the UFC to get O'Malley the belt, and somehow he'll walk away with it. The fact that many judges only gave Marab 3 rounds in all of his title fights is super concerning. It's like, bro, what are they watching? What are they watching? I watch a guy physically dominate another man for 5 rounds every single time. I'm pretty sure every one of Marab's fights arguably is a 49-46, if not a 50-45 that I've watched. Honestly. And I'm all due respect. I'll give Umar round one, whatever, dude. I thought Marab won 4-1. He arguably 4-1'd O'Malley. He 5-0'd Cejudo. He 5-0'd Jan. He 5-0'd Aldo. You know what I mean? Arguably, he's only lost a couple rounds in the last 5 years. Arguably, the judges have given his opponents many rounds, and that's a little concerning to me because that's where all his fights go. I'm worried. I'm worried about Marab and that happening. I think O'Malley will look better. He can't look much worse than he did. And they gave him 2 rounds. It's like, dude, the judges don't like Marab, dude. They don't like him. I love him. He's honestly one of my new favorite fighters. I root for him so hard, so much. I'm really biased picking Marab here. He's won me as a fan. He's won me as a champion. He's won me as a person. And I'm a fan, and I'm a fan of O'Malley too. But I mean, you gotta walk the walk, dude. This is it, man. You can't not, retool before a rematch. And I can also that I'm picking Marab because I see O'Malley lost up to featherweight. He's not gonna go fight another bantamweight to then fight another title fight. Like, what has he got after? Like, I'll have to settle for Umar or Sandy. Like, those are the options, right? Like, so a loss limits his possibilities, but there's still a couple exciting fights. The Jan rematch, which I don't think he wants. The Umar matchup, which I think if Dvalishvili takes him again, he doesn't really want. And the Sandman, I don't think it's worth taking a chance, but I also think there's a lot of good spots for him at featherweight to break in and be a top-ranked featherweight fighter, bro. The featherweight's got some absolute killers in the first dozen fighters, you know what I mean? So this is a legacy fight on the line, man, and I seriously don't know what's going to happen. If you're going O'Malley Ortega, come on, man. O'Malley Emmett, O'Malley Silva, O'Malley Zala, featherweight, like, he needs bantamweight. He needs the gold around him, and I could definitely see him walking away with it. Just because Marab doesn't finish. He's got no sub game. He's not gonna ground and pound. So, I might sprinkle a little bread on O'Malley by decision, just because, like, if I sit through the whole fight and, like, Marab gets robbed, I'm gonna be hella sad. But I'm picking Marab because I think in terms of, like, what the future holds for the UFC, it's O'Malley at feather. I mean, even O'Malley at, like I said, some of those rematches. Sandman, Jan, and Umar. If not, he can pick off Yang Sedong and anyone else below that with will. So that's my whole thing too, is like he might have a good chance to lose and stay in because there's not 4 better bantamweights than O'Malley. That's for sure. Now, is he the champ material? Maybe not, but everybody behind him, he's starching. Song, Yadong, starch. Figueiredo, starch. Vera, starch. Font, starch. Hudo starts, Batista starts. We go down the list. He's beating everybody. So, like, there are still a few exciting fights where, like, maybe he's not ready to move up to featherweight, but we still have one or two left where he's got a chance to go on a redemption tour. Maybe Merab slips up afterwards against Jan or something, because I think Jan's the best fighter in the bantamweight division. I think he's the scariest fighter. I think Merab is the best, but Jan is definitely the scariest and the guy that nobody wants to fight. And we have a little bit of musical chairs incoming here, depending on the outcome of this fight, right? And great spot to be in, top end. And we got some places for these bottom guys to kind of keep going up. Patchy Mix in the building, too. If he gets a win over Batista, is going to insert him into the top 10 conversation. And Merab off a loss, you can match him with Patchy. You got O'Malley, Umar, O'Malley, Jan, then O'Malley, Sandy. You got a lot of options. So, boy, what a matchup. What a card. I am expecting fireworks. Those last 2 weeks were brutal. My records have been brutal. The picks have been brutal. But I'm thinking a massive rebound this week, dude. Leave your comments on who you think's going to win. I think we got a lot of favorites taking home the dubs this week, and then I think we got a few underdogs, maybe 2 to 3. But how many? 13 fights, right? You're going to break off starting down with Sal Kid. We're going Young So, Yo, Wang Kong, and we got Medeiros. I'm picking Williams here, even though I think violence is the play and Gustafsson is live. I got Cortez Acosta over Spivak on a tough, and I think Mirzakhanov runs right through him, as does Josh Van. Another one of our upsets, I think, is Luque. We're picking Patchy Mix for the dub, Joe Pfeiffer, Kayla Harrison, and Merab the Machine to remain and still. Thank you guys so much for watching, supporting. If you like the video, subscribe. Thank you for supporting the channel. Leave your comments on the winners. I'll send you $100 if you get 100% right. Thank you guys so much for the support. Peace and love.